I gave up a lot of money to come into politics. And I see it as service. I see it as a privilege. But don't say I steal money. Don't say I've laundered. I haven't done anything like that. And I will not take it lying down. I will sue.
Did anyone feedback to you that you sometimes look fierce, that you need to soften?
I say because the issues I'm talking about are serious. When I deal with the kids in the constituency, it's very different.
So, Minister, thanks for taking time off. The government actually launched POFMA in 2019. It's been quite a number of years. Why is it that people still want to talk about it? What is it that they want to talk about?
The first question is, has it been useful? If you look at it, many of the falsehoods that used to be said are no longer being circulated. So our society is, not being so toxically affected. People are careful about what they say. They're not quite sure what POFMA is, and they think that it affects freedom of speech. And I'll point out to them, actually, whatever has been said remains. It remains there for people to read. All you have is a health warning from the government saying this contains falsehoods, and if you want the true facts, go to such and such a place. And then people read. It helps democracy, because people read what you say, and people read what the government says, and then they decide. And if the government is wrong, they will know. Sometimes, in certain situations, it can be ordered to be taken down, but those are very rare.
In the past few years, there have been some not so pleasant incidents related to Minister. So let's say the two sisters at MPS and then the exchange with Bloomberg. So are you a magnet of some sort for this kind of incidents?
I wouldn't say I'm the magnet. The sisters, their grouping went to other MPSs too. But maybe the way I react might be different. The way they talk raised a question whether they are serious or they just want to create an incident. I wasn't sure. Then they, together with somebody else, a Chinese boy, shouted, "Coward!
Howard!
Howard!
Howard!"
And looking at the past, what has happened in other cases, I think that's what these people want. They want to create an incident, and then they want to put it out, and they want to create a bad impression of the MP or minister. I confronted them. I'm not sure many people would have done that. I went back to confront them and told them off. That is the difference. So Bloomberg, again, it's a question of how you react. Bloomberg wrote an article. In my view, that is defamatory. That article essentially says that I participate in money laundering. I gave up a lot of money to come into politics. And I see it as service. I see it as a privilege. You don't agree with my policies? Fine. You want to criticize me for the things I say? Fine. But don't say I steal money. Don't say I've laundered. I haven't done anything like that. And I will not take it lying down. I will sue. There have been occasions when people have defamed me and I let it go. But by and large, somebody like Bloomberg, I think it's a reputable publication and I cannot leave it be.
You mentioned about your reaction to the MPS sisters and also suing Bloomberg. It's different from others maybe. And also your image for law enforcing comes as quite tough. Do you think that will cost you some votes or have some career development impact?
I don't think so. I think votes, it's not for me to say in terms of the past voting history. 2011, you had Workers' Party coming to contest. They must have done their calculations. They contested again in 2015 and then they didn't come. 2020, you had PSP that came. They contested. This time around, I haven't seen them. So certainly from the WP and PSP perspective, they think that they are better off in other places. PM has kept me on as Minister for Home Affairs and he has asked me to stay on. I don't see, these issues as affecting.
I think because of your reaction, you give people no nonsense kind, I think people will think you as a more stern person. So do you think this is the character that you play within the cabinet?
Look, the Prime Minister has asked me to run Ministry of Home Affairs. What is the primary duty of Minister for Home Affairs? To keep Singapore safe and secure. Any person, women, you can walk at any time of the day or night without feeling scared. Safe. 10-year-old kids can take public transport without having to worry. People know when their kid goes to school and comes back, somebody is not going to give them drugs. So we keep it largely drug-free. We keep it safe. You have real human rights. So my duty is to make sure the legal framework supports that. Whether you take our drug laws or POFMA, somewhere between 80 to 90% support it. 10% will oppose it. Of that, maybe 1 to 2% will be activists against it. And they will say things about you too. So what do? You do it in good conscience for the majority, or you worry about what 1 or 2% are going to say?
Did anyone feedback to you that you sometimes look fierce, that you need to soften, or have you thought about it?
I say because the issues I'm talking about are serious. When I deal with the kids in the constituency, it's very different.
So PM announced that PAP will introduce 32 new candidates. So a few of them actually came from Nishun. Is coming here to Nishun some sort of rite of passage, or is this a training ground for the PAP?
I wouldn't say like that. I think it's that, every minister, MP, part of the duty, I think, is to try and look for successors, succession, new people. Because the organization can only be successful if you have fresh blood coming in all the time. I go out and look for people. When I go for my meetings, I go for dialogues. If somebody impresses me, I invite them to come and speak with me, talk to me. I talk to them. I ask them to serve in the community. We observe. If I think they are suitable, I put their names up. Over the years, must have been 30, 40. Desmond Lee, who is now Minister for National Development, was working for me in Ministry of Law. Edwin Tong was working for me in private sector. Many other lawyers, non-lawyers. Gabriel Lam, who is in Sembawang, was my branch secretary. Jackson, who is here in Nishun, is my former branch secretary. There are so many. It's really looking for young people, looking for people who can make a difference. Succession is critical for the country and for the party.